There is absolutely not a day that goes by that Nancy does not think about helping somebody else. She puts everybody else first.
Nancy Lerner is a great friend. She's a great friend because she knows that in order to have friends, you have to be a friend.
When you're with Nancy, whether you have 5 minutes, whether you have 3 hours, whatever you have with her, she makes you feel like you're the most important person in the world.
Nancy views everybody as part of her family. She knows thousands of people. Many people probably in this room tonight consider her one of their best friends, and they're all right because that's who she is.
We have really an amazing relationship, and I think probably most people in the audience would say the same thing about Nancy.
I was told I was going to marry Nancy before I ever met her, and it turned out that that's exactly what happened.
I am married to Steve. We've been married almost 31 years. We have 2 amazing children. David is 27, Kathy is 24.
Nancy's relationship with her family, she is the central character in every story, even though she doesn't want to be at all. She makes the room light up.
Nancy's parents were 2 of the finest people that I have ever met.
Milton and Betty would be very proud tonight. They left a wonderful legacy for Nancy to contribute and to make a difference without expecting anything in return.
Growing up in the house that I grew up in and in the community that I grew up in Miami Beach, it was a normal course of action to give back to the community.
I've been a partner with Nancy in so many enterprises over the 25+ years. It's hard to pick the most important because every one resulted in something really special.
My relationship with Nancy Lerner began over 20 years ago, and one night at home I was minding my own business, the phone rang, and it was, "Hi, it's Nancy." I really didn't know at the time who it was, but that, as they say, was the beginning of a wonderful relationship.
Rosalind and I were on a committee together. That's how we first met. We probably didn't agree on a single thing, and we have totally different strengths.
Nancy and I go back a long time. Nancy and I are right brain, left brain. We're frick and frack. We're Ethel and Lucy.
Nancy's passion for children and giving to the community really is an extension of who she is as a person.
I have been involved in community, giving back to the community ever since David was born and I stopped working full-time in the corporate world. And one of the things, when you have a child, you get involved in children's causes and children's issues just because that's the world you live in.
As a professional, you pray, you wish, you vision for a volunteer like Nancy Lerner. And I was very fortunate that she picked the JCC to become so engaged and so involved with.
I sat on a committee, a scholarship committee, where you would read all of the profiles of these kids, and I sat in this meeting and I started crying because you read these profiles of these kids and it just broke my heart. And I walked out of the meeting because I thought every kid should get everything. And I thought, I have no ability to edit what they get, but I have the capacity to raise the money so that they can get what they need.
At the JCC, of course, Nancy was not just a board member, not just a past president, but she was a volunteer. And every Wednesday for 10 years, she led this teen peer advocacy group called Chat. Probably no one else I know in the leadership of the community was a hands-on, every week, 50 weeks a year, doing this wonderful activity with teenagers.
I am continuing to work very closely with the Zena Garrison Academy, and I love that. I love that it combines tennis, which I love, and along with tennis, we teach nutrition and fitness and really healthy lifestyles. And we also work very closely to make sure that these kids have an opportunity at an education. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, very few people will be professional tennis players. But if you don't have an education, you'll never really change your life.
Nancy is really involved in many organizations in a lot of different ways, whether it's a hands-on approach, whether it is a mentoring approach, whether it is a daily approach. I mean, there is always something that Nancy is doing, and it usually involves kids.
Nancy Lerner is relentless about children and their needs and getting them taken care of.
I think it really is our responsibility to together do something that helps other people. And it's fun, and it's exciting, and it's hard, and it's inspiring, and it's meaningful, and it's impactful. And the fact that we get to do it together is the icing on the cake.
Nancy's the most amazing person I've ever met. I think that's all I need to say.
She is a hero without an ego. That's who Nancy is.
Nancy should have engraved on her pillow that no child shall ever be turned away because of financial need. Whether she is reading to a Zena Garrison child on a Saturday morning next to a tennis court, or she is sitting through a budget meeting, Nancy's first, middle, and last thought is, how can I help a child?
Look in the dictionary for commitment, excellence, true passion, and you'll find Nancy Lerner. That's who she is, and no one deserves this honor more than Nancy Lerner.